I kind of wanted to show one of these neat things, something neat I made a little while back. It's these like Game Boy game boxes. It has a little icon of the Game Boy on the side there. It's supposed to be like the system. It's got some text there. And on the back I put in 3 little screenshots. And the Game Boy, what's that thing called? Super Game Boy. Picture of Super Game Boy. You can see down here I put a little Super Game Boy logo if it had a special Game Boy, and a little battery logo if the game had a battery saves. So it's like a little floppy disk save icon. I put in a bunch of the text on the back. Basically got the same thing on all these sides, but only the sides have the picture of the Game Boy. So I made this out of like premium, this just came out of a regular old printer. I made it out of the premium photo paper, or semi-gloss photo paper. No, this was the glossy photo paper. I think this one was the semi, wait a second. I can't remember. This one might be semi-gloss. See how it's like, get that texture. This one was glossy because, yeah, it's shiny. It's a little less glossy because I used a, I don't know what they're called, fixatives? A spray fixative on it once I finished printing it out so that you can touch it and your finger won't get sticky. I do like the texture of this one, but this one is a little rigid. I made a bunch. I made one for Pokemon Blue version as well. This one had a blue Super Game Boy thing on the back. I made one for Donkey Kong. You can see I changed the battery saves. Donkey Kong had a Super Game Boy as well. I like the other battery save. This one, the little floppy disk, even though it's not as obvious. And I made one for Pokemon Yellow as well. You can see that this one's glued, didn't work out so well on the side. But, yeah. I enjoyed making these. There's more than just the box as well, though. There's, when you open it up, I didn't crease these very well. And this has 2 layers of paper. You can see there, it's kind of coming apart on the seam there. I have 2 layers of paper here. The premium paper on top of another piece of paper to give it that thickness. And then in the inside is this. Hold on, I gotta put this down. So part of the cutout, I would make these guys and fold them and glue them. It's just the insert to keep the box nice and padded. Helps it with a squish. And I made this have a slope right here. It slopes and then pushes out. And these are the exact dimensions of the Game Boy here, the Game Boy cartridge, to use the caliper to get the sizes all right. Let me get the game, show you what it looks like inside. Okay, I got one de facto red version here, and you would just put it in, and that slope would help push it towards the front. It'd help you drop it in, but pushes it towards the front so that it's flush with the box. I set up the dimensions in here so that if you had it like this, you'd get very little rattle. Of course, there's going to be rattle if you go this way because it's got to slide in. But the side to side, especially if you're holding it like this a little bit side to side. It's just the circuit board moving around in there. Of course, up and down would have a little bit of rattle, but whatever. So yeah, I made these neat little boxes as just part of a goofy experiment. Some didn't work out so well as others. This one's glue is horrible. This one I think was the first one I actually did. That's why the battery save icon is different. But I designed the whole box in GIMP and then printed it out and had to get all the measurements exact on all of these for being able to cut them out, and gotta have a bunch of different. They all have the box inside there, same kind of thing. Having all those cut out in the correct dimensions and all that sort of stuff. So. And this one is like maybe this was a satin finish with the shine. I think this was the glossy finish. It's very. It sounds like you're rubbing latex or something. It's got a lot of grip compared to, say, this one. You see my fingers actually sliding whenever I do this one. They weren't sliding on the other one. If I take the game out, you see it doesn't have that weird latexy sound. Let's see, what about this one? This like semi-gloss. It's starting to get to that sound. Anyways, yeah, I'd get that fixative and just spray it on outside, and that's how I'd make these boxes. I quit making them because, believe it or not, it takes a lot of time to make each one of these. You got to design the front and the sides, and you got to turn on and off which system it's for, and design the back, and have this thing. I mean, of course, now I have it so you can just turn that on and off for those features, but yeah, I'd have to design each one of these, do all the GIMP work on it and find high quality images to work with, or of course take these screenshots back here just so they were the right colors for when you played like Super Game Boy and all that. But it was a lot of work, so haven't made another one since these, and I made these months ago, maybe even a year ago, who knows. They're just sitting on my shelf, and I should make another one. I don't know why I did all the Pokemon ones, probably because the Pokemon cartridges have color. They're color like red, yellow, green, blue. They have the different colors, and so does Donkey Kong. So technically every box here I have has a colored cartridge, and that's likely why I was doing it. I like colors, and having colors inside of the colors is awesome.